Hello, hello! Mag-share lang po ako ng live. Andito po tayo sa TikTok. At isi-share ko lang. Teka. Hi, Uncle Ayan! Hello, hello! Ayan, mag-share lang ako ha. Guys, pasensya na hindi ako makapag-live stream sa Hindi ako makapag-live stream sa sa YouTube at saka sa Facebook. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala pag nakaluwag-luwag tayo sa buhay, kukuha na ako ng Starlink. Para anywhere nakakapag-live ako ng walang surot. Hello, Lucas Leprechaun. Teka ha. Wait lamang. Share lang ako ng live. Hello, maraming salamat sa pa-heart. Hi, Fur Daddy Doc. Hello po. Ayan. Buti hindi mo pala matagal. Nakakuha ko, na-upload ko siya sa YouTube. Wow, ganda naman ang idol ko. Kakapanood din ng live, 100%. Hello, Kim Jiao. Hello, hello. So, nakakuha ko na i-upload ko. Hindi ko ma-upload kasi nga na-report yung live na yun. Ayun. So, I'm really, really sorry na hindi ko ma-upload. So, therefore, kailangan kong maging mabait upang hindi mabura ang aking live at kailangan ma-upload siya sa YouTube para sa mga team replay. Ayan. Importante yung team replay natin, guys, eh. Lalong-lalo na yung mga, yung mga hindi kayang makipagsabayan sa lalim ng gabi. Ayun. Ayan, pa-share naman ng live para masaya tayo. Pa-share ng live sa inyong mga friends, families, and whoever. Teka. I-share ko lang sa i-share ko sa YouTube din. Ayun. Alam ko na alam ko na maraming what do you call this? Walang TikTok. Lalo na yung mga Jonder Cuts natin, yung mga minamahal nating senior citizen na hindi marunong mag-TikTok. Ayan. Walang mga TikTok yung mga yan. So, mga team replay yan. At sayang mas malaki reach mo sa YT, sabi ni VM. Ang problem, VM, pag sa YT ako nag-live, for some reason, nagfa-fluctuate yung connection ko. So, mas maganda yung connection ko dito sa TikTok kesa doon. Yun yung problem. Ayan. Itatry kong mag-YT, yung direktang live sa YT, yung walang StreamYard. Itatry ko yan. Or, I will record a content, tapos, ko na. Hi, in the Sarah fan page. Hello, hello. Ayan. Uy, Inday Sara is getting positive result dun sa kanyang sa kanyang Catch Up Friday. So ang daming mga grupo na mga from DepEd groups who are participating to improve the reading comprehension of students. So they are providing reading session and other reading activities. Nagde-devise sila ng way on how to gather students to read interesting materials every Friday. And in Cagayan and in Bicol, kung saan ginagawa nila itong Catch Up Friday, they are getting really positive results. I am going to write about it. Magpo-post ako about it. Kasi they demonstrated like numbers na nag-improve talaga. So this started January lang, no? January lang siya and it's getting positive results. So okay na okay, 'di ba? Galing. Welcome sa aking mansion, ang Laperal Mansion. Ayan. 170 kanina. Naging 95 viewers na lang. Magpakabait ka daw kasi Ma'am Joey kaya umalis sila, sabi ni Mickey 18 Mikoy. Then ayan yung mga sabayang mga trolls yan, yung sabayang pupunta, tapos sabay aalis. And their goal is to find something reportable dun sa live. Ganon. Ayun. Ang social naman ng mansion mo, madam. Oo naman. Hi, Ate V. Hello, hello. Hello, Ate V. Ayun. So, anyway, anong tawag dito? Dito sa TikTok, dito, mas subjective ang moderation dito. Kasi talagang, they really shut you down if they don't like you. Ayan. Martial law ba, ate? Hindi, sige, okay lang hindi mag-martial law, hindi na lang tayo papatol. Ayan. Magiging angel ako. Hindi ako manlalait. Char. Anong topic tonight? Makikinig kami, sabi ni Leo. Well, well, first, I would like to address, dahil pinagpipiestahan daw ako sa X, formerly Twitter. So, first na first na item nila about me is my post about the president laying wreath on American soldiers. Pagkatapos, marami kasi akong post. And ako talaga, bad trip ako dito, no? My first divorce sa Pilipinas. Sabi ni Red Chocolate, ay ate, baka sana may forced divorce sa Pilipinas, baka masave pa natin tong admin na to. Grabe ka naman, Red Chocolate. Ayun. Basically, the post was about, questioning why the president took some time to, it was easy for the president to take some time na mag-participate sa wreath laying sa Australia. And yet, he cannot make it part of his schedule. Dito sa Pilipinas, yung pagbisita, pagkamusta sa mga sundalo, especially yung mga sundalong namatay sa Lanao. Okay? Yung 6 na sundalong namatay sa Lanao, they died fighting terrorist. Lasog-lasog ang katawan, sunog, decapitated, fighting local terrorist on our own soil. Kailan lang nagsalita yung president about it? Nung nag-vlog siya kasi may nagtanong about the about the Lanao soldiers who died. 'Di ba? Okay, ngayon, ito ang birada ng mga ito yung mga birada ng mga tali-talinuhan doon sa X. So sabi nila, ay si Joey, boba naman to, ganyan-ganyan. Hindi ba niya alam that it is protocol? Sabing gano'n ng mga feeling intelligent, na mga blind Bongbong Marcos supporters. Ayan, itong mga feeling intelligent na to, sabi, hindi mo ba alam na protocol yun? Na ang tawag dito, na si PRRD, ginawa rin niya yun na nagpunta siya ng Israel. Yun yung example. Hindi ko na finact-check yung yung wreath laying ni PRRD sa Israel. But that is what they said. Ayun. Okay. So the argument was, because it's part of the protocol, dapat daw, hindi ko na kine-question. Ganon, okay? Now, them bringing up yung, yung ginawa rin ni PRRD yan, ganon. Yung pag-bring up nila nung nung part na yon, sobrang red herring. Irrelevant yung information na yun eh. Kasi I'm not talking about PRRD dun sa post ko. Okay? I was not talking about PRRD. And basically, what I said is that it is not about it is a protocol or not, no? But anyway, let's take their argument that it is protocol. Okay, fine. It is protocol in Australia to do something like that. Okay. Ang tanong dito, so ibig sabihin ba, kayong mga BBM supporter na nag-a-argue na protocol yung ginawa ng ano na yon ng presidente ni BBM sa Australia. Kayong mga BBM supporter, sinasabi nyo ba na ang pag-sympathize sa ating mga sundalo dito sa Pilipinas ay dapat ma-envelope muna ng protocol bago gawin ng presidente? Sinasabi nyo ba na ang ability of this president to express sympathy must be covered by protocol? Kasi sa totoo lang, if the president is going to sympathize on to our soldiers because of protocol, di mas lalong walang meaning yun. Kasi ginagawa mo lang yan dahil protocol eh. 'Di ba? Hindi yun yung binibira sa presidente. Hindi yun ang binibira sa presidente na kung ano ba sila, kung protocol ang isang bagay o hindi. In fact, mas ma-appreciate ko nga ang presidente if he's sympathizing to our local soldiers even if it is not part of a protocol. Actually, even in Australia, if he's going to do something like that, magbigay siya ng pagpupugay dun sa mga sundalo doon na nakasama ng mga sundalong Pilipino dito sa Pilipinas and it's not part of the protocol, that's also good. Diba? I mean, pinagtatanggol niyo yung presidente dahil protocol kanyo yung wreath laying niya doon. It does not attack the argument that the president is very nonchalant and apathetic doon sa mga nangyayari sa ating mga local soldiers. So I do not know what kind of logic you have. Yung mga naku Joey, protocol yan. Ano ngayon? Diba? Hi, Osha. Oh my gosh, kailangan ko itong ini-sharing na to. Hi, BB. Oo nga, Osha. Ayan, tagal na kita din. Di kasi tagal ko rin hindi nag-TikTok. I'm not so sure kung fina-follow mo ako sa YouTube and sa Facebook. Pero, ayun. Ano lang, I got you. Kapag gusto natin ng mga ranting session sa mga nangyayari, Diyos me, 'di ba? Laging bukas ang aking tindahan para diyan. Ayun. Ngayon, okay. Because of that, sasabihin nyo na naninira ako, nagsisinungaling ako. I mean, para ano ba 'yan? Kung sino yung mga nagbabayad in order for the administration to be defended dahil sa mga heavy critics like myself. I mean, kung ganyan lang po yung pagdepensang gagawin ninyo sa administration na to, Diyos ko po, sayang yung bayad ninyo. Humanap kayo ng matalino. Yung again, okay? Protocols does not attack the argument that this president is apathetic. Okay? Nakuha ba? This administration, okay, especially Bongbong Marcos, is apathetic to our local soldiers' plight. Ma'am, ask ko lang, ano ba chance mo ngayon, economy, etc.? Thanks. Well, I would listen to what, Dr. Batu said about this. Sabi ni Dr. Batu, nangangamba siya dahil yung mga numbers na pinepresent ng administration to measure our economic growth is actually hinged on things that cannot be really substantiated. Dun sa YouTube channel ko, meron akong in-upload doon it was a 6-hour live, pero I have to cut the part when Dr. Batu was talking about the Philippine economy. Kasi ang sabi ni Dr. Batu, Joey, kasi ang problema, even if may growth tayo na nilalagay dyan, it is not hinged on something that you can really rely on. Okay? Ano yung pinopoint ni Dr. Batu? Sabi niya, yung contribution ng agriculture and manufacturing to our GDP is at all-time low. So ibig sabihin, if there would be any growth in our economy, this is something that you cannot really rely on. Kumbaga, parang hindi ito indicative na meron talagang growth. Kasi yung mga hard contributors para dun sa production natin are actually decreasing. So dun sa live namin na yon, in-explain ni Dr. Bato at nagpakita siya ng data doon sa production ng manufacturing, yung contribution ng manufacturing and agriculture sa ating domestic production. And that is really scary. So, there are also some reports, okay, that investors are cashing in on their money. Yung outflow ng foreign investors natin ngayon, kinukubra na ng mga foreign investors yung mga kita nila. So, hindi na nila ini-infuse sa capital ulit. Ganon. So, isa rin yun sa nakakatakot. Ganon. So, kung ano raw yung mga inflow ng foreign investors, nanyu-neutralize noong mga outflow ng mga foreign direct investors sa pagkubra ng kanilang profit. So, yun. So, ngayon, I am not really very positive. Aside from that, the president is actually sending message that we are on the front line, just like World War II. If you are an investor and you hear the president saying something like that, mag-invest ka pa ba sa Pilipinas? Sige nga. Mag-invest ka pa ba sa Pilipinas? Sa USA lang siya kumukuha ng investors, dapat sa Chinese din siya kumuha. Sabi ni, actually may listahan yan yung pinakamaraming, ang number 1 investor natin sa Pilipinas is Japan. Yung US parang number 3 or 4 lang. Hi, Madam, most influential, closely watched leader daw si BBM sa Southeast Asia, sabi ng Australian think tank. Influential, I am not so sure. Closely watched, I would say yes. Because our neighbors are also actually very concerned dun sa direction natin dito sa Pilipinas. Especially when it comes to our dealings with the US and China issue. Ayun. So I'm not so sure kasi itong Australia, when PBBM talked before the Australian Parliament, it looks like Australia wanted to do a military cooperation with us. Yung speech ni BBM sa Australian Parliament, he was talking about the relationship of the Philippines and Australia during World War II. Kaya nga niya nasabi na, magkasama tayo nung gera ng World War II. Nag-cooperate tayo bonggang-bongga in order to foster peace in the region, Kinemerlu, ganon. Sabi ganon ni BBM. Pagkatapos sinabi niya na yung peace daw na yon ay again nasi-threatened. And that is why nire-reiterate niya yung partnership with Australia. It is pertaining really to military partnership. Ayun. Sabi ni Romel Gabriel, World War II, aborigines pa yan sila, tayo nakipaggera na. Apparently, ang sabi ni BBM dun sa during that time daw, merong mga cooperation na ginawa between Philippines and the Australians. Pagkatapos, I would think, no, it is really about fighting with the Australian soldiers shoulder to shoulder. So, ganun yung ini-imply niya eh. Ayun. So, kaya sinasabi niya na since threatened na naman ang stability and peace in the region, dapat partner pa rin tayo, ha? Ganun yung niya eh. Ganun yung tenor nung speech niya eh. Ayun. Hello. Ayan. Good evening po, sabi ni Agosto 20. Ayan. But hindi na kayo live sa FB, ma'am, sabi ni Joe. Ang hirap mag-live sa FB. Hindi ko alam for some reason, pag nag-live ako sa FB or sa TikTok, sa YouTube, nagpa-fluctuate yung nagpa-fluctuate yung internet ko na Yeah, at tayo lang nawasak ang Australian World War II. Zelensky II, sabi ni Successful Soon Cutie. Totoo. Halo-halo, at least nakahanap din. Sabi. Nag-aantay kasi ako sa FB. Pasensya na. Siguro babalik tayo sa normal programming pagbalik ko ng Bulacan. Ayan. Medyo matagal ako dito sa Bacolod kasi I'm doing something here. Ayun. Hi, Tita Josephine. Hello, Joey. Ako din yung Inday Sara fan page. Ay, okay. Nakita ko nagla-live yun, hindi ko alam kung guest po kayo o kayo yung host. Nakita ko merong Inday Sara live. Sabi ko, ay, okay meron na Inday Sara live dito. Mga supporters ni Inday Sara na nagkikwento-kwentuhan dito sa TikTok. Ganun. Okay. And then another thing that I would like to address. Etong statement ni BBM nung nagpunta siya ng Basilan. I think it was March 2 March 2, RTVM. Ayan. March 2, nagpunta si BBM sa Basilan. Pagkatapos, nagpunta siya sa Basilan, inanggulo ito ng Presidential Communications Office as the first president who watched the decommissioning of firearms sa Basilan. Ayan. Hi, Cheryl Hernandez. Hello po, ma'am. Ayun. So, yun yung angulo ng angulo ng Presidential Communications Office. Teka, tanggalin ko yung aking green screen. Ayan. Yun yung angulo ng Presidential Communications Office. Let me just give you the... Okay. Well, anyway, ang point is that, kumbaga, ang gusto nilang iparating dito ay si BBM, ang kauna-unahang presidente na nanood ng decommissioning ng firearms sa Basilan. Or that decommissioning, which is, by the way, BBM clarified that the decommissioning of firearms is something that is being done for quite some time already. Ginagawa na yan, yung decommissioning ng firearms na yan. So, kinlaro ni BBM, ang decommissioning ay ginagawa na for quite some time. Okay? So, hindi ito novel, hindi ito bago. Okay? Ngayon, ang sabi ngayon nila, first president who witnessed such. Okay? Ito yung unang kasinungalingan ng Ito yung unang kabulastugan ng Presidential Communications Office and ni BBM. Kasi if it is something that is being done, pagkatas it is being done without the president watching, then what's the point na kayo yung first president na na-witness yun? Diba? Anong point? Bakit yung pinagmamalaki? Anong problema? Ginagawa naman na pala yan dati. Wala kang presidente na nagwa-watch dyan eh. I mean, tuloy-tuloy lang yung programa na yun na decommissioning eh. O ngayon, nagpunta ka sa tapos pinanood mo, audience ka, what's so special about it? 'Di ba? Pagkatapos kung ibida ninyo sa sambayan ng Pilipino, parang meron kang ginawa. Wala ka namang ginawa kundi maging audience. Pinagmamalaki mo, BBM, na naging audience ka sa isang programa na ginagawa naman na for quite some time. 'Di ba? Ano yun? May masabi lang na first time niya gawin, sabi ni Rara Avis. Correct. So that is the first kalokohan. That is the first kalokohan. First president who watched the decommissioning of firearms in Basilan. 'Di ba? Parang, ina na itong mga to talaga. Parang, lakas niyong manloko ng tao! Diyos me! Sinong maniniwala sa inyo? Actually, mga maniniwala lang dito, sa totoo lang ha, kung ikaw talaga tatanga-tanga, they are really going to fool you eh. Yun yung intention eh. Yun yung intention talaga. Gusto talaga nilang manloko. Gusto talaga nilang bulahin yung mga tao. Ganon. Ayun. Now, eto. This is the second kalokohan. Nung na-interview siya, after nung what do you call that? Yung, after nung program, nung na-interview siya after nung program, he was talking about being the first president to visit the Basilan. And it is important daw kasi it has been the ground zero of conflict. So, very important daw that president, sabi niya, I think I am the first president to visit Basilan and it's important because this is the ground zero, kineme, ganyan-ganyan. Idiot! You are not the first president to visit Basilan. Okay? GMA in 2001 went there, talked to people, talked to families, talked to different people na victim ng Abu Sayyaf. GMA went there in 2001 when the conflict was at its height. Diyos me! I do not know kung saan nanggagaling to. Diyos ko po, presidente nyo talaga. Tama na po ang pulburon. Huwag araw-arawin. Huwag araw-arawin ang pulburon. Diyos me. Sobrang stupid. Okay, this is what he said exactly. He was being asked questions, no? Ito yung sinabi niya.
And that is why this is the most important thing. And that is why it is very significant also. I am the first president to be able to come here because this was ground zero in the time of the fighting. So we can see it is a very clear landmark on the progress that we have been making in bringing peace to southern Philippines.
Narinig nyo? Narinig nyo? He is the first president to come here. Diba? I am the first president to come here in Basilan. Okay, ganito. Is he referring to first president to come here in Basilan and watch the decommissioning? Yun ba yung ibig mong sabihin kang tatanga-tanga ka? Okay, because if yun ang ibig sabihin mo, then we go back to our discussion number 1. If you are in Basilan to watch the decommissioning, then what the fuck is so special about it? It is something that is being done. They are doing it whether or not there is a president around, idiot. So what is there to be proud of? Why you are flaunting it as if it is an achievement? Diba? Ngayon, okay, if you are not referring to being an audience of the decommissioning of firearms, you are saying that you are the first president who visited Basilan, and it is so important because you said Basilan is a ground zero of conflict. Diba? Then whoever told you that you say that, that statement before the before the public is making you look like a fool. Ang tanga nyo po. At nakakahiya na parang, ano ba naman itong presidente namin, tatanga-tanga. I mean, you know, this second part, this very, very idiotic hirit na sinabi niya, I'm the first president to come here. Okay? Yung sinasabi niyo po na, I'm the first president to... hindi kayo yung first president. PRRD and, GMA went there. Actually, si Pinoy nga nagpunta rin after some time nung nagkaroon ng sorry, sa Zamboanga pala yun. Hindi pala yun sa Basilan. I'm not so sure though kung nagpunta si Pinoy sa Basilan. I tried to research about it pero wala rin akong nakita. So yun. Yung utak ni Bangag mas malala pa sa mga ginagawa sinasabi ni BBM, talagang magaya siya sa tatay niya, sabi ni Mia Moore. Ayan, kaya nga iinom na lang ako ng Red Horse, sabi ko, Ate V. Si Ate V, ganda-gandang babae. Nag-alok yung kasama namin na yung nasa Cebu kami noon. Ate V, anong iinumin mo? Red Horse. Okay. So anyway, let's go back to that second issue. So sinasabi mo na ikaw pumunta, of course, you're lying. Pag sinasabi mo na ikaw ang first na presidente na pumunta sa Basilan in order to settle the problem there, then you are mistaken, Mr. President. You are not. Okay? You are not. Ngayon, ito yung ito yung nakakaloka dyan. Sa totoo lang, I appreciate that you went to Basilan and do something like this, na kinausap mo yung mga tao doon, in-address mo yung conflict and whatnot, ganyan. And nag-audience ka doon sa decommissioning. Kasi, that would give the local peace a boost. Dahil nandun ka. Okay? Dahil nandun ka. So, sa totoo lang, kung hindi ka nagkupal dyan sa Basilan, okay sana yun Okay sana yun 'di ba? Pumunta ka ng Basilan, you watch the commissioning of the firearms, ganyan. So, it gives boost to the existing program that you were talking about. 'Di ba? What I didn't like is your persistence na magpapogi ng wala sa lugar. Nalukuhin ang madlang people dyan sa mga statements mong wala sa lugar. Yung yabang nyo po at yung achievement ng administrasyon ninyo, walang panghahawakang laman. So, I mean, this is not the first time that this administration is trying to fool the public. Manloloko kayo ng tao. You try to, you desperately try to show to everyone na nagtatrabaho ang administrasyon ninyo. Pero, sa totoo lang, panay kayo papogi. You did that when you claim that there is 51% farm-to-market road accomplishment. That the target na farm-to-market road was 51% accomplished under your administration. SAS made a content about it. She looked at the report of the DPWH on the farm to market road and the Department of Agriculture. Kasi sila parang collaborating agencies yun . And the 51% accomplishment is actually the accomplishment of all administration combined. If we're going to convert it into kilometers, yung total kilometers na tina-target ng farm-to-market road, 51% of that was accomplished. And that 51% is the cumulative contribution of all the administration, not your administration alone. O ngayon, yung mga matatalinong supporter dyan ni BBM, have you debunked that claim? Have you debunked that? Kayo, niloloko kayo ni BBM harap-harapan. Pagkatapos, if we are going to call out itong mga panggagagong to na ginagawa ng administrasyon na to sa mamamayan niya, sabihin nyo, Joey, maninira ka, surot ka, ganyan-ganyan. Well, susurutin ko talaga kayo. Susurutin ko kayo ng todo-todo at susurutin ko talaga tong administrasyon na to because they are liars. Okay? Mga sinungaling. And I'm going to be pain in your ass. Hindi ako titigil. Mas malala pa sa kapas. Diba? Yung live ko na na-report, actually, I think my limit has been totally exhausted by Bongbong Marcos. Yung speech ni BBM before the Australian Parliament, wherein he said that the Philippines is on the front line, just like in World War II. Bongga na yung... Di ko kinaya yon. Hindi ko kinaya yon. This guy is really leading us to path of war. And sa totoo lang, pag pinush niya ng pinush to, at tayo ay naipit sa gitna ng gera, and your family members die, my family members die, because of this war na wala naman tayong papel, hindi ko talaga mapapatawad si Bongbong. Kahit kailan. And that is my bottom line. He exhausted my bottom line. This idiot must resign. He is leading us to hell. My God. Alam nyo, marami akong mga naging friends noong eleksyon na sumuporta kay BBM. Now think very, very carefully. I know a lot of you still support this man. But you have to think very, very carefully. Itong tao na to na nagsasalita about us being threatened and that we are on the front line just like World War II. Handa kayo na isuno ang mga kamag-anak niyo, kaibigan ninyo sa gerang hindi naman atin? Sino kaaway natin? Sino kaaway natin? Sino kalaban? Bakit siya ganyan magsalita? I think we should not be led by an idiot. Ako, naka-bookmark talaga sa akin yung speech niya before the Australian Parliament. Kasi talagang sisingilin ko talaga siya, yung putang ina niya. And I'm waiting for Inday Sara to talk about it. Isasagot ng mga insaynada, China daw ang kalaban, mga gago. Correct. Yung kayong mga tatanga-tanga na nagsasabi na China ang kalaban natin. Bakit natin kalaban ng China? Dahil meron tayong issue on the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea. Okay? Yung ba? May sovereignty issue din ang Japan at China, ang South Korea at Japan. Ang mga bansa within Southeast Asian region, meron ding mga sovereignty issues. Ang mga bansa sa Europa, sa sa Africa, sa Latin America, they all have territorial dispute. And their dispute would involve sovereignty issues. Kapag meron kang conflict about territory, does that mean that the other country is your enemy? You have to review kasi niloloko kayo ni Bongbong. Nung pumunta siya at inambush meeting niya si Xi Jinping sa Amerika. 'Di ba, isa sa mga ni-report ni BBM na accomplishment niya nung pseudo meeting na yon is that the relationship of Philippines and China should not be affected by the issues of the West Philippine Sea, South China Sea. 'Di ba? Isa 'yun sa pinagmamalaki niya. And actually, bakit sa TikTok Teka, may message si ano. Teka, may message si Sas. Tapusin ko lang. Teka lang Yung sabi yung sa ambush meeting na yon, sinabi ni BBM na isa sa mga accomplishment is for China and Philippines to agree that the South China Sea conflict should not affect the other relationship of the Philippines and China. SAS actually called that result, yung meeting result na yan. Kasi sabi gano'n ni SAS, that has been the agreement between China and Philippines since 2016 na nagmeeting ang China at si PRRD. Yun na yung pinag-uusapan dyan dati pa. So parang, ano sinasabi nito? 'Di ba? O pagkatapos, yun naman pala, kaya mo naman palang i-separate yung issue ng conflict sa territory at sa sovereign rights. O anong nasa-threaten ng peace and security? 'Di ba? You are not handling the conflict well. And if that issue becomes a source of war, it's because you are incompetent. Bakit ang dami-daming bansa na nag-aaway tungkol sa mga teritoryo at sa mga sovereign rights ay hindi naman yun nauuwi sa gera. Ba't ikaw dadalhin mo kami doon? And those people who believe, sa totoo lang, those people who still believe na kailangan natin ipaglaban yung bansa natin dahil, yung Pilipinas kasi ganyan, dapat hindi ka maka-China or whatnot, ganyan. You look at Indonesia. You look at the economy of Indonesia. May post dyan si Sas May post si Sas doon, yung different this is very telling, no? Ayan. From Statista, ang source is World Bank and IMF. The infographic is about continental shift, the world's biggest economies over time. So let's take a look at it, no? You look at China from 1992. At the bottom, handito na ang China sa 2024. Okay? So we're talking about size of economy. Ayan. Indonesia, out of nowhere in 2024 becomes one of the largest economy. Number 2, USA. Number 3, India. India also, out of nowhere. Biglang number 3 economy na siya. But let's just focus dito sa Indonesia. Ano yung ginawa ng Indonesia that we were doing during Duterte time? Diba? Ano yung ginawa ni ano? Anong ginawa ng Indonesia? There were political observers, international political observers, na pinupuri talaga yung policy ng Indonesia. And I think it helped them boost their economy. Yung Indonesia adopted a friends to all, enemy to none policy. Okay? They did not commit sa mga gusto ng mga Amerikano, but they would give in on certain things that they think they can accommodate. Okay? And that's what they did to China as well. Kung ano yung ma-accommodate nila, yun din ang ano nila, yun din ang kung ano yung ma-accommodate nila sa China, yun din. Teka, gusto mo ba mag-live? Ayan, wang sisas namimiss na mag-live. Ayan. So, yun yung ginawa ng Indonesia. Merong pinost dyan si Prof. Ana Malindog Uy. Ang ganda nung pinost niya na article. Kasi yung political observer, international political observer, said na ang galing ng ginawa ng Indonesia. Kasi hindi sila nag-commit sa China, hindi rin sila nag-commit sa USA. So, but what they did, they tried to get they were able to balance. And they are raking benefits out of it. Ganon. Kasi nga, ang tawag dito, they were able to get, kumbaga, pag si China ang kausap niya, Indonesia was able to show to, hindi, wala namang kaming commitment sa USA, ganyan. Ayaw rin naman ng China na nasi-threaten siya sa USA, ganyan. Ngayon, Indonesia is also able to show to the Americans that, well, we can maintain certain relationship with you, things that you can give us that we can compensate or accommodate, ganyan. Pero hindi rin kami magko-commit sa'yo kasi wala naman kami nga sa'yo ni China, ganyan. Di kasi naging pawok ang Indonesia, correct. Oo, mas malala yung drug war sa Indonesia, ginaya nila kay PRRD, pero mas grabe. But anyway, they are raking benefits doon sa friends to all, enemy to none na foreign policy. So that's what they're saying. Ayun. Idol ni Widodo si Tatay Diggs. Ayan. So things that we expect to be continued by this administration, but this liar is not doing. 'Di ba? Sobrang sinungaling. Diba, ginoyo tayong lahat. Kaya ka nga namin binoto kaya ka nga may 31 million Dahil umasa kami na itutuloy mo yung ginawa ni PRRD. Diba? Ate Joey, may posible ba na way para maibalik si Tatay Diggs bilang president? Well, there has to be like, a change in the constitution, ganyan. Tapos, well, unang-una dapat papayag si PRRD. Yun yung unang tanong. Ang dami kasing ang dami rin kasing factor. Like for example, can PRRD still do it? He's very old and very fragile now. 'Di ba? So, isa pa yan. Parang hindi rin tayo ganun ka nakakasigurado na even if we're going to, let's say, stage a massive revolution, ganyan. Hindi rin yun, sabi ni Sir Brio Zambaleño Explorer, dream on DDS, Marcos time naman. Marcos time po talaga ngayon at wala naman nagsasabing DDS time to, Sir Brio. Sinasabi namin, si Marcos during Marcos time is not doing the right thing. Okay? Sa totoo lang, Sir Brio Zambaleño Explorer, kung kunwari hindi kinontinue ni BBM yung mga nasimulan ni PRRD, pero maganda ang naging resulta, wala naman pong problema eh. Ayaw mo i-continue yung nagawa ni PRRD, gumawa ka ng bago. Okay lang kung merong resulta, Sir Brio. Okay? Ang problem, wala naman pong na-achieve itong administration na to. So that is why we are looking back at the promise of continuity. Kasi hindi mo naman pala alam ang gagawin mo, ba't hindi mo tinuloy yung sigurado tayong may mangyayaring tama? Which is yung mga plano at polisiya ni PRRD. Nakakasunod po ba kayo, Sir Brio? Wala pong kume-question na Marcos time to. Marcos time po to. Wala pong nagsasabing this is DDS time. Hi, Brian Merck. Nagets po ba? Hihinto ang Mindanao Railway Project at binigyan ng 500 billion si loudspeaker Tampaluslos. Sabi ni Filipino Leaks, grabe na loka ako nang sinabi ng amo ko, yung presidente niyo adik, hindi ko alam kung ano sasagot ko. Sabi ni RJ Palabrica Robles. Hi, Filipino Leaks. Nakaabot din, oo, ayan. Parang feeling ko gustong mag-live ni Sas. Kaso nga lang, yung internet ko. Ayun. Nakakaloka. Marcos time, dumami holdapan. Unsafe na, dami na holdapper dito sa Bulacan, sabi ni JR, 281981. Yun pa nga. Actually, isa pa yan dun sa mga no. Kasi di ba ang pinapresent ng Philippine National Police is that the crime rate went down. So, ang pinapresent rin nila na napakarami nilang nasabat na droga. Di ba? Yan yung pinapakalat ng ng BBM admin eh. But here's the problem. Bakit yung presyo ng droga bumaba? Ngayong panahon ni BBM. Yes, you heard it right. Okay? Ang mga tao pong may access sa droga ngayon ay nagsasabi na mas mura ang droga ngayon. So, kung totoo na madaming nasabat na droga ang BBM administration kumpara sa accomplishment ng PRRD administration combined yung 2016 to 2022, kasi merong ganong claim before na yung drogang nasabat ng PBBM administration is mas malaki pa sa nasabat na droga ni PRRD. Ganon. Bye, Cheryl. Bye-bye. Ayun. Pero, kung totoo yun, bakit ang mura ng presyo ng droga ngayon? Di ba, may nagsisinungaling dito. Di ba? Shout out Chino Faketa, sabi ni... Hindi ba yan ano? Ano ba? Chino... okay. So, bastos. Okay. Sabi ko na nga, Nisip ko pa kung That Boy Din. That Boy Din, mute ka na, ha? Go, ayun. Ay, gusto yung mag-live kami ni Sas? Gusto yung mag-live kami ni Sas sa FB? Mag-end live ako dito, itatry ko sa FB, ha? Ma'am, sa inyo kay Robin Padilla na nag-file niya ng persona non grata kay Janet Rice. Well, to be fair, wala naman talaga yung mga etos ng mga Australians, yung BBM, Human Rights, yung mga ganon. It's the same thing dun kay PRRD. Wala kayong karapatang magsalita sa amin ng mga ganyan-ganyan. Diba? Australian senators na to, my God. 'Di ba? My stand on that is same do sa stand ko nung si PRRD ang presidente, na merong mga kikriticize sa kanya ng mga legislator ng ibang bansa, na parang manahimik kayo. 'Di ba? So it's the same thing. Yung mga senator ng ng ibang bansa, kaya nakikialam sa mga affairs namin, tangina nyo. 'Di ba? Ayun. Anyway, tara, na tayo? Punta tayo sa FB at magla-live daw kasama si Sas. Madam, ma-upload po ba ito sa YT? Yes, ma-upload ko to sa YT kasi hanggang ngayon wala pa akong violation. Ayan. Okay? So, i-upload ko to for sure. Ayan. Pero, meanwhile, magla-live rin kami ni Sas. Punta na tayo sa FB guys. Okay, bye-bye.